And we're going to teach you English. We're English teachers here in Comoros, and we love that you want to learn English with us.
But we know that learning a language is, well, it's difficult. It takes hard work. It takes perseverance. It takes jitty-hardy.
That's right, so keep working hard and keep learning the stories with us. We hope that after you learn the stories, you'll go out and tell someone else.
So we have a great story today, but as always, we need to teach you some vocabulary first. Abby, why don't you teach them the new words?
Well, great. The story that we're learning this week is called The Boy Who Cried Wolf. So we need to learn some new vocabulary. This is a sheep. 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 It's a fuzzy animal. Sheep. Now sheep live in the fields, and the people that look after sheep are called shepherds. Shepherds. One shepherd, two shepherds. Shepherds look after and take care of the sheep. Now there's another animal in this story. It's a wolf. Wolf. A wolf is like a wild dog. It has sharp teeth. And sometimes it is scary. Wolf. Wolf. Another word that you'll hear in the story is joke. Joke. A joke is something that is said to make people laugh. Some jokes will be mean and hurt people, but sometimes they are just funny. In English, we have a series of jokes called knock-knock jokes. Maybe you should find someone to tell you one. Joke. Our next vocabulary word is to scream. To scream is to shout or say something very loudly because you are afraid or because you are surprised. To scream. Ah! Scream. And our last vocabulary word is to scold. To scold is to say something to someone out of anger, to correct them because they've done something wrong. Sometimes you'll hear a parent or a teacher scold a child if they lie or say something or do something that they shouldn't do. To scold. So let's review. These are our vocabulary words for the story. Sheep, shepherd, wolf, joke, to scream, and to scold. Listen for those words as Amy tells you the story.
The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Once there was a boy who lived in a village, and he was a shepherd boy. It was his job to take his father's sheep out to the fields so that they could eat the grass. And every day he would go out to the fields with his sheep. But many times he got bored. It was just him and the sheep. And so one day he decided to play a joke on the villagers. He cried out loudly, "Wolf! Wolf!" And he kept screaming, "Wolf!" until all the villagers ran out to see what had happened and to help him. When they saw that there was no wolf, they scolded the boy and returned to town. But time passed and the boy became bored again, and so he decided to try his joke once more. He cried out loudly, "Wolf! Wolf!" And again, many villagers ran out to help him. When they saw there was no wolf, they scolded him and returned to town. And one old man, he warned him. He said, "Son, you should be careful with your jokes, because someday you will need someone to come and help you, and they won't, because nobody will believe you." But the boy didn't listen, he just laughed. Well, time passed, and the boy was out in the field with the sheep again. And suddenly he saw A wolf! A real wolf! He was so frightened and he wanted to scream. And the wolf came nearer and nearer. And he cried loudly, "Wolf! Wolf!" And the villagers heard. But this time, no one came to help him. They shook their heads and said, "That boy, he's playing his jokes again." And so the boy continued to scream and he began to run. But the wolf was faster. And the wolf caught him and ate him up. And that's the end of the story. Let's listen to Abby tell that story now.
This is the story of the boy who cried wolf. Once there was a little boy who lived in a village, and he was a shepherd boy. Every day he would take his father's sheep out to the field so that they could eat. Well, one day he was really bored as he was out in the field with his sheep, and so he decided he would play a joke on the villagers. And so he cried out, "Wolf! Wolf!" And so all the villagers came running to see if they could help the boy. But when they got there, they saw there was no wolf, and so they began to scold the boy, and then they returned to town. Well, another day, the boy was bored again, and so he decided he would cry out, "Wolf! Wolf! Wolf!" And again the villagers ran to help him, but they saw there was no wolf. And so some of them began to scold him and return to the village. But one man warned him. He said, "You should be very careful. One day you might need help, but no one will believe you because of your jokes." Well, one day the boy was out in the field with the sheep, as he always was, and indeed he saw a wolf, a real wolf, and it was coming closer to him and the sheep. And he became very afraid, and he screamed louder than ever, "Wolf! Wolf! Wolf!" But no one came. All the villagers shook their heads and they said, "Oh, that boy, he's playing his jokes again." But the boy continued to scream and he tried to run away, but he wasn't fast enough, and the wolf ate him up. That's the end of the story. Well, we hope you liked the story, even though it's a bit sad, but it's important that we review the story, so I'll ask Amy some questions. Amy, who was in the story?
Well, there was the shepherd boy, the villagers, the sheep, and of course, the wolf.
That's right. And what was the boy's job?
Well, his job was to look after the sheep, to take them out to the fields. He was a shepherd.
That's right. And what happened when the boy was with the sheep in the field?
He decided to play a joke on the villagers, and he shouted, "Wolf! Wolf!"
And what happened after that?
Well, the villagers, they ran to help because they thought there was a wolf.
But was there really a wolf there?
No, just the boy and his sheep.
So how many times did the boy cry wolf?
3 times.
And what happened when the boy saw the real wolf?
Well, he cried wolf. That was the 3rd time he cried wolf, and nobody came.
Well, why didn't they come to help?
Well, they knew that he liked to play jokes by shouting wolf and watch them all run out to the fields. And so they didn't believe him.
So what happened to the boy?
Well,
I hope you at home understood the story as well. Now we're going to ask some GSV members what they think of the story.
My favorite part of The Boy Who Cried Wolf is the fact that the boy thinks he's really funny and wise when in reality he's being very foolish, and he learns his lesson.
We learned that it's not good to tell lies.
thanks GSV members. It's true, this teaches a really good lesson. It tells you that it's really important to tell the truth. Because if you tell lies, no one's going to believe you. It's not always easy to tell the truth, but it's important that that's what we do.
In Chingasija, you have a proverb that relates to the story. It says, Kalima la mungwana de la muando. So if you want to be believed, you must tell the truth.
And don't forget, go out and tell this story to somebody else. Remember, practice makes perfect. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye!
Goodbye.